Hi everybody, welcome to G for G here on YouTube. I am your host, Davy Jones over here. And I am playing a game of Heroes of the Storm. And I'm playing Davy Jones. Just kidding. I'm playing Stukov. And I've refined my build really nicely. Kind of caught out here. Except that happened. So I'll show you what's been going on here in just a moment. The first night and when I did the first look video, I needed to refine my talents a little bit to start doing some better gameplay. And as you can see, I'm pretty much more than double the enemy Stukov now. And I'll show you the talent that is the big thing as to why Stukov can put up numbers or not put up numbers. It's this one here at level 4. It is the one that says if you detonate 50 of your healing spores, it does more. And you hear that little ding, that was me hitting it. However, kind of getting focused here a little bit. I couldn't get to the material. So I'll show you what's going on with my... Oh, the Rainer is pushing and not aiding. Got her silenced a little bit for the Zeratul. Hopefully the Nova can catch up. Get a nice 3-way pop over here, except my cooldown for pop is not up. Okay, not worth popping. Oh, I hear a Dahaka. Either that Zeratul will scout him out. One of the keys to that talent is to always try to walk yourself into your target. And you kind of become like Typhoid Mary. You you become a carrier of your heal. Another big key is a really solid lurking arm build. Hopefully we get out of here before the towers come up, which we might not. If I can chain this to the Tyrael, God damn it, Tyrael. So that's one of the problems sometimes with Stukov, is a lot of people have not really adapted to how to work with him. That Tyrael should have come up towards me. I'm gonna pick Lingering Spines over here. Alright, once it's on the Zeratul. So I'm at 33 of my 50 pops. The problem is there is a pretty big cooldown on the pop. And now if I can just bring it to these guys... Ooh, they got the boss. It's close. Camp is up. Give it a Tyrael. Pop it for the big heal. Nice! Haven't died yet. We've still got a pretty sizable lead, although we are down a lot of people right now. Stukov is actually pretty decent at laning if you could set a nice lurking arm for a little while over there, and that's where the range comes in handy, or the lurking arm persists for a little bit after leaving. And you can pop while channeling it, which is pretty handy. So, yeah, that level 4, that's the big one. I'm at 38 out of my 50. And then later on, I pick the ability that says my pop doesn't consume it, but it refreshes it. That also is a big thing for... I'm going to silence everybody for the Zeratul. That's the range and expansion right there. Hopefully I can keep this going for another 4 seconds. Yeah, even if they don't need it, I'm now only 9 away. Which is pretty good. Looks like we've got a fight going on over here. Pop that Tyrael. Pop that Nazebo. If I can ultimate like all the others. Okay, Zeratul apparently didn't want to assist there. And there's my 50. And now to respond to the Nova. Bio kill switch no longer removes healing pathogen. That's kind of the big one. It refreshes it, so if you want to really put up big numbers on Stukov, you wait until just about when it's done, and then you pop it. And they get another full cycle. And you still get the burst. So that's where good Stukovs start putting in big numbers. 44 for me, 20 for him. Still more than double. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and bitch now about heals Nova when you, like, walk in and take tower shots. As you can see, though, one nice little pop, and she was up at full health. And my lurking arm did enough damage and persisted long enough over there for me to disengage. Do a little bit of cleanup over here, since we still got some time. His swing timer is really slow. Kind of reminds me of Leoric in a lot of ways. When you get to this point of the game, if people don't need the immediate heal and your quest is complete, obviously don't pop. Early on, you want to pop a lot just to get your quest. So that was a really good Stukov game on my part, but it was kind of just a very vanilla match. It wasn't really pushed. Stukov is a little susceptible to dive. Hi. Wow. Yeah, I'm voting for myself. Almost 30 heroes. If just people go ham on a target, I mean, there's nothing you can do. If your 50 quest hasn't popped yet, if your pop isn't up, I mean, it's a high. It's like a druid hot in World of Warcraft. I mean, there's only so much you can do. Now, you can really heal people up in the late game, especially if you're managing your pops well. And I'll go over that over here. So, final stats, I healed for 50. The other guy healed for 20. And 37 siege damage and 15 hero damage. Better than... Wow, there, yeah. Just about doubled everything the enemy Stukov did. So let's take a look at the talents over here. So, Growing Infestation, Lurking Arm area expands. He went the Fetid Touch, hitting heroes with Weighted Pustule. I definitely don't think he completed that. I don't remember him being around enough for that to have happened. And the fact that they only have 7 kills, chances are he probably did not complete that quest. Not the brightest quest, considering he was solo healing. However, the reducing the cooldown, and I mean, if he was slowing the Nova and the Zeratul a lot, he's definitely going to be a pain in their ass, but I don't think it really worked out for him. Vigorous Reuptake. We both did it. I don't know if he completed his quest. I know I completed mine. This is essential. Bioswitch healing by 50%, especially when you get to 16 about Pax Populi. No longer removes the healing pathogen, instead refreshes it. These two have huge synergy. I mean, this is a very big Big Mac sandwich between the two. You've got bun, and then you've got all this other shit in the middle, and you've got bun. But it is worth it in the late game, and you can certainly turn into a monster with Stukov healing in the late game with those two. I did Within My Reach over here. Increased the range of Lurking Arm. Good for surprising people out of the bush, and when you have a decent enough tank, try to stand behind him. And silences work really well. I mean, totally shuts down the enemy Stukov. Hammer is still an issue. Kerrigan pretty much is shut down. The Hawk is useless, and Nazebo is useless. This Nazebo, Widowmakers, Hexed Crawlers... he probably was not going to go into Voodoo Ritual when he would have had the chance. Weird build on him. Ice Block makes sense. Some of his other stuff is a little weird. And he went Massive Shove just like me. I sometimes go the swipe if I'm up against stealthers. I like to do the swipe. He went Low Blow. I, however, did Lingering Spines, which has a lot of value. And then that's it over there. So, taking a look now after several days of playing him, I had a StarCraft daily, which is why I was on him. But after playing him for several days now, I've got some more information on his talents and what really works. Spine Launcher is honestly pretty good, and if it was in any other tier, I think it would be really good. However, it competes with Growing Infestation, which honestly I think is very good, especially when you pick up the talent that says you leave it behind for a little bit after stopping. This is good for laning, good for ganking, very good if you have solid front lines. If you had this decision a little later in the match and you were getting dove on a lot and you really couldn't set up, Spine Launcher would be better, but it's your first tier. You have to make the decision obviously super quick, but either one of these two is solid. I favor Growing Infestation, and it seems to be one of the winning talents on Hot Slogs. Over here, just Vigorous Reuptake. Unless you are not the main healer, just fucking Vigorous Reuptake. That's all you need to do. I used to do heal over time on its initial targets increased. Yeah, I used to do top off, and sometimes Biotic Armor would be good if you're facing a lot of melee or auto attackers, but Vigorous Reuptake is a huge reason why there are good Stukovs, and then there are shit Stukovs. I just don't think there's anything else worth it at this tier if you were there as a healer. If you were splitting your duties, then maybe you could spread it out a little bit and be a little bit more support than raw healing, but this is huge when you couple it with another one at 16. The long pitch, increased weighted pustule range, within my reach, range of lurking arm. It hungers each time an enemy hero is hit. It reduces its targeted excision, detonating only one pustule, a weighted pustule, but any number of healing ones with bio kill switch reduces the cooldown. This kind of fits the build. However, it is constantly situational. You never know from time to time if this talent's going to be worth it or not. However, within my reach is 100% useful. 100% of the time, your lurking arm has its range increased. You might not always get value out of this, but it does fit well with the 416 pop, the detonation. It reducing the cooldown of kill switch means you are a super effective healer, especially when you're speccing into the pop, but you might not always be able to get exactly one pustule out there. The heroics are very conditional. I think they're both good. Massive Shove is already leading to some funny what the fuck plays, including pushing an Asmodan from the middle of Tomb of the Spider Queen all the way to the enemy's base, or the enemy of the Asmodan. It's the friendly Stukov's base, and he just gets mauled by the core, because that's how far back he goes. But I do believe Flailing Swipe is really good for anti-ranged and anti-stealthers. Here at 13, when taking damage below, instantly spread. I think this one's stupid. I think this one means you're just constantly in the front line like a Karazim or a Rhaegar, and that's not always the case. If you're getting very good at your lurking arms, you don't want to be that forward. Low blow, lingering spines. To me, I think this is the way to go. I think this is generally universal, near 100% value. You saw the one time over there when the Nazeeba was trying to go in on me, and I started walking away, and that lingering spines actually acted as a temporary wall. I mean, obviously there's going to be lots of areas where people can go around it, but it was there long enough for me to get enough range to mount in peace. Detonating weighted pustule on an enemy who's inside a lurking arm roots them. Killer combo if you believe in your combos. I think it's good. But again, this is not necessarily 100% uptime. 16, yeah. Pax Papuli. I really think it needs to... That's what it needs to be. Whenever an ally with healing pathogen is stunned, they're instantly healed. Universal carry is what I started off picking. I think it's garbage. Absolute garbage. I mean, the healing is reduced by 60%, I think really cripples him. Eye Infection increases the final damage of a weighted pustule, so that's offensive. This is certainly the way to go, especially if you did Vigorous. Here, this is kind of like Vala with her Reign of Vengeance. You have more control over the heroic, which is pretty good. Push comes to shove, travels 25% faster. If it pushes a target for more than 1.5 seconds, cooldown is reduced by 15. Bio Explosion Switch, Bio Kill Switch now also detonates Lurking Arm, applying a weighted pustule to enemy heroes. I don't set up for this combo enough. It's not part of my priority. My priority is more healing and exploding healing ones. Sometimes hopefully lining up with exploding offensive ones. If my quest is complete by this point, then I have a little bit more leeway, but I think the heroic choices are better. If you're playing a really, really tight map, like Mines, and you've gone the push, the massive shove, you may want to do Bio Explosion Switch if you just don't think the map is big enough to get really long shoves. Bigger maps, Sky Temple, Braxis, I think this is going to be a little bit better. So that's what I've learned about Stukov over the last few days. You got to see him in action. That talent build is pretty good. I happen to be complaining to somebody that my Stukov was never healing as much as enemy ones, and to my girlfriend, she brought up, hey, you know, what about the winning one over at Hotslog? Have you looked at his build? I was like, no, I haven't, and really my build was very, very close, except Vigor's reuptake, and I was thinking I needed to switch it anyway. When I saw it on Hotslog, I was like, yeah, I really need to do this. So, what I do is growing for the expanding arm, vigorous, within my reach, situational, lingering, packs, and, you know, dependent upon my heroic. And that's what I've been doing, and it has gotten considerably better. Let's see the match history. So 1-1 on Stukov, 2-2 on Stukov, 3-2. These few over here, these 3 losses in a row 3 days ago, this is before I refined my build, and you can see the difference that it makes. So I was 0-3, and then I was 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. So things went from 0-3 to 3-2. So it got a lot better. Unfortunately, I can't see my stats over here, but this loss, I was outplayed by that Stukov a little bit, even though we didn't run into each other. He out-healed me. These other ones over here was much better, and I was the better Stukov in those. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoy the video. Hope you're enjoying Stukov. I think he's a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see where that comes out competitively, but it's going to be a little bit while before they're on the Stukov patch. I believe Zol has changed, but I haven't looked into him yet. Let's poke our heads over to Zol. I hear he's got something at 4, like 2 quests at 4 now. Hit 20 heroes with Spectral Scythe. Reduce the cooldown of Spectral Scythe. Each enemy hit by Curse Strike reduces its cooldown. That seems pretty good if it counts trash. Bone Prison spawns 2 Skeletal Warriors. These do not count towards his maximum. Quest spawn 80. Jesus Christ. So you have to hit 40 Bone Prisons. When fixating on an enemy, Skeletal Warriors gain 50%. So what that is his trait is the... Where are you, trait? Passive. There it is. His Skeletal Warriors now fixate on enemies, kind of like Nazebo's Wall when it comes down, if you pick that talent. And I do believe he's doing... I've heard he's doing pretty well with it. I haven't run into an excessive amount of Zols this week, honestly, but could be interesting. I think Reaper's Tail probably would be a solid way to go. I mean, reducing it by 3 seconds drops it down to 5. That's up a lot. Let's see if anything else stands out over here. Echoes of Death spawns addition. Whoa! Spectral Scythe spawns 2 additional scythes next to the first. That probably will help with the quest. Gain 5% attack speed for 3 seconds each time Curse Strikes hits an enemy. There's Executioner. Amplify damage, right? Corpse Explosion. When Skeletal Warriors die, they explode in a small area. Deals 100% increased damage to non-heroics. There's Bone Sphere, which was always pretty fun. But I thought Bone Sphere used to be up at the heroic tier. Poison Nova heals for the damage dealt. Skeletal Warriors deal more damage. Increase the slower Frost Mage. Skeletal Warriors attack slow enemies. Mortal Wound. Less healing. Kalen's Edict. Skeletal Warrior attacks reduce the cooldown of Zul's heroic, but ooh. Fun. So yeah, he's really changed. It'll be interesting to see what he's like. So stay tuned. Maybe I'll do a video on Zul. Peace out, everybody.